When you think about LinkedIn, does it sometimes feel less like professional networking and more like this giant popularity
Oh,
contest?
absolutely. Like you have to be posting constantly.
Yeah, exactly. This pressure to post every day, be super aggressive with networking, always promoting yourself, it can just feel, wow, overwhelming.
Especially if you're maybe naturally a bit more reserved
Right.
or introverted.
Right. That whole feeling of having to shouting to the void
Yep.
just so someone, anyone might notice you. It's tough. It puts a lot of people off.
It really does. And you see people either just giving up on LinkedIn altogether or, using it in ways that feel forced, maybe inauthentic. And it doesn't actually help their career much.
And that is precisely what we're challenging in this deep dive today.
Mhm.
Our mission here is to figure out how you can really master LinkedIn, do it effectively, but also, importantly, quietly.
Quietly, yes.
How do you make sure the right opportunities actually find you without all that pressure to be the loudest person online?
Yeah, how do you cut through the noise without adding to it?
Exactly. And we've got a great source to guide us.
We do. It's an article from Livex called How Introverts Can Master LinkedIn Without Posting Every Day.
Catchy title.
It is, and it's genuinely refreshing. It offers a really practical, effective strategy for anyone who maybe prefers a less shouty approach.
A bit of a breath of fresh air then.
Definitely. For anyone tired of that constant barrage of self-promotion.
So this deep dive, it's really for anyone out there who wants to use LinkedIn smartly. You want the visibility, you want the connections, but, without faking it.
Without losing your authentic voice or just getting buried in endless notifications and posts.
Right. So let's dig in. Where do we start?
Well, the foundation is your profile itself.
Okay, the profile. This seems basic, but the article suggests people often get it wrong. What's the big mistake? Is it those buzzwords?
That's a huge part of it. People think recruiters are looking for things like, I don't know, hardworking team player or passionate innovator.
Right, those vague terms we see everywhere.
Exactly. But the article's really clear. Recruiters just don't search for that stuff.
Okay, so what are they searching for then? This is key if you want to be found.
Specifics. Tangible things. They're looking for actual job titles.
Right.
UX designer or data analyst. Real roles.
Got it. What else?
Tools.
Yeah.
The specific software or, platforms you actually use, like Python or Tableau.
Ah, okay. Skills and tools.
And certifications are big, too. Think PMP if you're in project management or maybe Google Analytics certified, things like that.
So these are the concrete terms that actually make the connection happen.
Precisely. They're the hooks.
So for you listening, the action here is pretty clear, isn't it? Go back to your profile
Yeah.
and start weaving these kinds of specific, relevant keywords in, naturally, of course.
Right, not just stuffing them in. It needs to make sense.
Where, exactly, your headline.
Headline, definitely. Your about section is crucial. The descriptions under each job in your experience section. And, of course, your skills list. Make sure the specific terms are there.
It sounds simple, but you're saying this is a step lots of people just skip. Or maybe they don't do it right.
Yeah, they either skip it or they fill it with those buzzwords we talked about. And they essentially become invisible to recruiters searching for those specific skills or titles.
Wow. So doing this properly really shifts things. It's less about you hunting and more about letting opportunities find you.
Exactly. You're making yourself discoverable. It puts you in control in a different way.
That's a really powerful mindset shift.
Yeah.
Okay, so profile optimized. What's next? Let's tackle that big one. The posting pressure.
Ah, yes, the post daily or perish myth.
Right. This idea that you have to churn out content constantly just to stay visible. What does the Livex article say about that? Is it true?
It says, quite bluntly, no. It's just not necessary.
Really? That's going to be music to a lot of people's ears.
I think so. And it offers this really surprising insight. It says, and I'm quoting roughly here, one thoughtful comment on the right post can do more for your personal brand than a dozen AI-generated posts.
Wow. Okay, unpack that. One thoughtful comment beats a dozen generic posts.
Yeah. Think about it. It's about genuine engagement, not just volume.
It changes the focus completely, from broadcasting to actually connecting.
Precisely. And the why is really important here. Meaningful engagement builds actual trust.
Which those cold DMs we all get definitely don't do, right?
Ugh, no. How many of those just get ignored or deleted instantly?
We need to count.
But if you add real value to a discussion in your field, or you respond to someone's post with a genuine insight, Or even just send a connection request with a short personalized note.
Instead of the generic LinkedIn default.
Right. That actually starts a real interaction. It builds a little bit of rapport. People notice you for your thoughts, not just because your name popped up again.
So the underlying principle, the big mindset shift the article pushes for is you're not building an audience, you're building relationships.
That's the core of it.
Yeah.
It reframes everything about how you interact on the platform. It's not about follower counts. It's about connection quality.
Which leads us really nicely into the third key point, doesn't it? Quality over quantity when it comes to connections.
Exactly.
We all see that 500 plus connections badge. It feels like a goal, something you're supposed to achieve. But does it actually matter?
According to the article, and frankly, common sense, not really. Not if they're just names on a list.
Just random people you clicked connect with once?
Yeah. Having 500 or 5,000 connections means very little if there's no real interaction, no actual relationship there.
So what's the alternative?
The power is in a smaller but engaged network. People who actually know you, respect your work, maybe you've helped them, they've helped you.
Right. People who might actually think of you when something relevant comes up.
Precisely. Those are the connections that yield real opportunities or provide genuine support. A handful of those are worth more than hundreds of strangers.
And this is where the article suggests introverts might actually have a bit of an edge, doesn't it?
It does. It's framed as a hidden advantage.
How so?
Well, because people who are naturally more introverted often lean towards more thoughtful one-on-one or small group interactions anyway. They're often better listeners, more reflective.
So that tendency towards deeper, more meaningful engagement rather than just broad, surface-level stuff.
Actually helps them stand out in the often noisy LinkedIn environment. Their contributions can feel more authentic, more considered.
So their natural style aligns better with building those quality relationships we were just talking about.
Exactly. It's about making a real impact with your interactions, not just adding to the general chatter. That authenticity builds trust, which is far more valuable than just a large connection count.
It really flips the script on what success on LinkedIn looks like.
It does. It's not about being the loudest.
Okay, so let's pull this all together then. Let's recap the bottom line for mastering LinkedIn, effectively and quietly.
Okay.
First, maybe the most important takeaway. Success is not about just loud self-promotion, right?
Definitely not. Forget the megaphone.
So what are the pillars then? What did we identify from the article?
3 key things, really. 1, let the right people find you. Optimize that profile with the specific keywords recruiters actually use.
Make yourself discoverable. Got it. 2,
2, engage meaningfully. Forget the daily posting grind. Focus on quality interactions, thoughtful comments, genuine responses.
add value, don't just make noise.
Exactly. And 3, prioritize trust and real relationships over sheer numbers. Quality connections beat quantity every time.
Build relationships, not just an audience list.
That's it. Keywords, meaningful engagement, quality connections.
And for anyone listening who maybe identifies as more introverted, this whole approach really validates your natural strength, doesn't it?
Absolutely. That thoughtful engagement, that authenticity, that's what cuts through. That's what builds trust. This strategy lets you leverage your style effectively.
It's about working with your nature, not against it.
Precisely. Be effective, not just visible for the sake of visibility.
Fantastic. Well, that wraps up our deep dive for today.
Great stuff.
And as always, we want to leave you with something to think about, a little food for thought.
Okay.
Consider these principles. We've discussed this idea of quiet strength, focusing on authentic engagement, quality, trust, meaningful connection, rather than just volume and self-promotion. How might you apply those ideas not just to LinkedIn, but maybe to other areas of your professional networking or even, personal networking in your life?
That's interesting, taking it beyond the platform.
Yeah. In a world that often seems to reward the loudest voices, how can you leverage your unique strengths, whatever they are, to build those deeper, more valuable relationships online and off?
It's definitely something worth reflecting on. How can you reshape your own approach?
Something to mull over. Thanks for diving in with us.